Good morning, everybody. Hi, just back out again this morning to say hello. Back in the garden, another gloriously sunny day so far. This morning I'm actually going to chat you through a few very basic hairdressing words and terminology that's associated with our industry. Words that you're all very familiar with, I'm sure. You're educated through the media and different areas, but sometimes I find while clients come in and ask us for this, or perhaps use a word just to describe a haircut, they don't fully realise what they're actually asking for or what they mean, and sometimes can be a little bit too embarrassed to ask. So to help you out here, and bear with me if you feel this is too simplistic, I apologise in advance, but there's a few words that I'm just going to actually clarify for you. Okay, we're going to start with cutting. The one that we get asked quite a lot for is graduation. Can you graduate the back? Can you graduate the side? Graduation basically means is that you're building weight within a point in the haircut itself. So you're adding weight to a certain part of the head, a certain area of the head, without affecting the external line of the haircut. So basically you're not cutting hair at an angle of 90 degrees, probably down closer to, it depends on the level of graduation and how severe you want it, but the old wedge haircut would have been cut at 45-degree angle, for instance. Now nobody ever asks for that anymore, but just to give you an idea that's what you're looking at. So basically you're adding bulk to an area to add dimension to a haircut. So that's what graduation actually means. The other one that we would get asked a lot is a blunt cut. Now I know you're all very familiar with blunt cuts. Blunt cuts, basically the bob is probably the classic example. So basically that is a cut that has no layers. So you're cutting it quite angular, quite sharp. You're leaving weight right down to the ends of the hair. Normally you're just taking length off without taking bulk away from the hair. So that's your bob. The other one there then that people are now familiar with is the lob, which is the long version of the bob, or indeed there's the wob, which is the wavy version of the bob. But they're only all a play on words really. Another one that we will get asked quite a bit for is point cutting, and what point cutting is where you're cutting vertically into the ends of the hair. So instead of cutting horizontally as we traditionally would, you're now texturizing the ends of the hair. So you're blending some layers through the end just to give a broken line. You're adding texture, you're adding dimension. So that's basically your point cutting. Other words that we'll get asked a lot about are ombre, balayage. Are they the same thing? No, they're not. Okay, the only thing that's similar about them is that they're both French words. Ombre is basically the word shaded in French, and what it means is you're normally blending dark to light. So the new look of ombre, say, would have been, for instance, where you would have quite dark roots to quite dramatic bright ends, and then between the two there's this natural diffusing of the colour, and that's your blend, and that's the ombre look. Now ombre is used now in nail therapists are using it in nails. It's blending two colours together, but in hair normally it's going from quite light to quite dark, and it's a seamless blend basically is what it is. Balayage then, on the other hand, balayage is a technique which is hand painted, and basically what you're doing is you're placing colour within the hair at certain points in the hair. So you're normally hand painting them on. So you're taking it's not normally done with foils, it can be sometimes, but normally it's a hand painted look where you're actually artistically placing colour in areas of the hair that you want. It gives a much more natural look than highlights, obviously a much more contemporary look than highlights. And you can add obviously different levels of tones. It can be quite dramatic or quite subtle. And actually going back to the subtle, sombre is the word if you're using again more subtle tones, that you're not going from that contrast from dark to light, that you're just kind of doing a very gentle lift. Sombre is the word that covers that. So balayage basically are your hand painted highlights, and I use that term loosely. As I said, it's placement of colour put onto the hair. Again, a really nice, a really soft look. Another word that we get asked a little bit about is breaking the base, and breaking the base basically means that you're lifting your own natural hair colour very gently, just for a couple of minutes, and again it's to add tone and to blend. And where breaking the base really comes in is if somebody has a very dark natural regrowth and they like quite bright highlights, and at the base, and after you take out the foils or the mesh or the wraps, what you actually do is there's a product you put on just for a couple of minutes that gives maybe 1 or 1.5 levels of lift, and by doing that it just means that the regrowth isn't quite as dramatic when it's growing out. So sometimes it can lengthen the time between the highlights. It just gives a softening, it just blends, and it is a really nice overall look. And I'm just going to put down the glasses because it's actually quite sunny. So that's basically your breaking the base. The other word we would get asked quite a lot about is masking, and masking basically is just covering your root. So you can have temporary masking. It's a grey blend. It's basically a word for blending. So it's where your root is there. A lot of cases it's only masking applies to, say, your hairline, or where a parting is, where it's visible. Is not normally something you put all over the head. As I said, there are different versions of it. You have your temporary masking, or you have your more permanent masking, but again it's basically touching up your regrowth. T-bars, you're all very familiar with T-bars. T-bars is your section from here, and normally takes in the hairline. So again, it's the T. So again, it's a quick way of or it's a less invasive and probably less expensive way of touching up highlights. Sometimes you don't need a full head done, and certainly for the condition of your hair, obviously it will be quicker, but that's your T-zone, and that's one of the ones I'm sure you're all very familiar with. There's lots. I could go on forever, ladies. There's so many different words. If there's anything in particular you want to ask me, please do so. Leave a comment below. Just a little update on the salon. Working hard onto getting back. At the moment, we're looking at the 20th of July. Unfortunately, it's out of our control. There's a few rumours around, and again, that's all they are, rumours that they possibly will bring us back to phase 3. I don't know. I mean, we have to remember it's all about safety, and we're not medical professionals, they are. So we're hoping that the HSA will guide us, and the HSE, and obviously we will do whatever. At the moment, we're still not taking appointments, and again, as I've explained, for obvious reasons, we have to wait and see as to what we can actually deliver and what restrictions are on us. But at the moment, please rest assured, there's a huge amount of work being done in the background here to keep a very secure, safe and sanitized environment, as we always had prior to this. So thank you so much for all your cards, your text messages, calls, comments, Facebooks, everything. I have to say, I think it's fabulous support from you clients. Thank you so much, and I look forward to looking after you all again. So ladies, for the moment, stay safe, and anything else you need to know, come back to me. Take care. Bye bye.